told the community about the Promise Collection. I thought that this Promise Collection was one of the best things I've seen in a long time in comic books. And I was right. But here's the thing. We've been seeing more pictures of it. We've been seeing what's been coming out of the Heritage Auction Instagram page, specifically from one of the graders, who's kind of like just showing off the goods every single day, it feels like. Crazy books. And you told me that there's some ramifications about you being there, right? Like if you want to go and attend this auction, they're not messing around. They don't want just like the standard civilians showing up. They're saying, you know what? You got to come with a promise. You got to come with a promise to go and visit the Promise Collection auction. And what is that promise? You got to have money.
To do it in person, because it's such a coveted collection and so much buzz, they're just like, listen, you have to spend this amount.
How much?
A lot.
Say it.
A lot, man.
Give me a number, man. Well, okay, if you want to go and visit the Promise Collection, what's the promise you have to make Heritage?
The promise is $100,000 you need to spend between you and another person.
That is right. Can you imagine, comic fam? Like, see, I want to go and participate, but yo, I don't got no $100,000 to even, like, I don't even feel like it's right for me to be like, oh yeah, maybe if the book is right, I will spend $100,000. But I'll tell you, you're going. Are you going to drop $100,000 on a comic? Is there even a maybe? It has to be a maybe, right?
I'm going to bring a bunch of books to consign just in case. But man, I mean, look, I'm not going to just try to win books to win books. You know, if it makes sense, it makes sense. I'm there to try to get something, but I'm not going to go nuts bonkers just because, you know, as great of a pedigree as it is, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Now, will I walk away with some book? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to walk away with a book.
You got to get a book, dude. You need one book. I don't even care if it's a major key, a grail. You got to get one of those gold, black, pedigree labeled books from the Promise Collection. I want to see it at the table. I want to show it to the community. Hit the subscribe, hit that like button. We chat expensive paper regularly here.
Yeah, and I'm going to document. Mostly I want to be there to document this, man. This is something super special. We've talked about it. It's like the church coming out now. The technology's there. The excitement for comics is there. This pedigree is just hitting at the perfect point in time in comic collectible period. So to be there to witness it, I'm excited for it. I'm going to try to bring that excitement to everybody else. I'm going to have it on my IG go live as well, Golden Age Guru.
You're almost at 10K on Instagram. Comic fam, if you're watching this video, I need you to go follow the Golden Age Guru. This guy, dude, you tell me like every time I talk to you, you're like, oh, dude, I'm almost there. I'm almost at 10K. Because when you get to 10K, you can do the swipe up feature. And that's really important when you want to like notify people of what's going on in the comic space, and you're like doing a claim sale. You know, we do that every month over there. Go follow Golden Age Guru. We're selling comics over there. And dude, you provide a lot of value to the community. You're doing these like what is it called? It's like you're selling comics for other members for free.
Yeah, I call it show and sell once a week. Yeah, you come on live through my feed and take my platform for free and sell your books.
Dude, you're making some awesome video clips soliciting it. I saw the one you did for Quiet Place. I showed that to everybody I know. They were all dying laughing. You just standing there with the backpack. It's pretty good. It's like the Quiet Place. You know, everyone's seen the scene where you got John Krasinski and his wife in the movie and in real life. And then you also have the kids and they're walking down that bridge. And then the youngest kid makes the noise. But instead, it's actually Jeff as the younger kid. You edited yourself in there. Hyping, just doing some solid value for the community.
Yeah, man, I don't get anything out of it, but it's interesting to see the community that's building in that space of IG, because I'm getting messages all the time, weeks later, months later. Hey, you've introduced me to this person. You introduced me to that person. Your platform's brought this to me. I'm consistently selling more books now. And I just find that when you're selling books and the community is getting tighter and the webbing is spreading further out, that when everyone gets to know each other outside of just a name on a platform, you actually get to make facial contact or just visual with people, that you're just going to grow stronger as a group. So that's the main thing. It's been awesome. It's fun to do. And if you really want to come out there and be a part of it, you should.
All right, go follow the Golden Age Guru on IG. But the Promise Collection, it's going to start hitting Heritage very soon, like within the next, week? By the time they see this filming, it's going to be like the next day, I believe.
Yeah, I think the auction actually starts on the 17th, but the very first day they will sell the promised books will be on the 18th.
There you go.
Of this month.
So you can check this out online. But as mentioned, Heritage Comic Grader on Instagram, one of the graders for one of the biggest auction houses, has been kind of just showing off the books. Man, what a job this person has this year. Like every year, I'm sure it's fantastic. Just being able to see the glorious, the cherry, as Matt Nelson said in his podcast, one of the head graders for CGC, he called them like cherry books. These crazy high grade golden age books from this Promise collection. Can you remind the community who haven't watched our last podcast together just a little bit about the Promise collection and why it's so important? Because I really want to showcase some other books that have come out, because the collection itself is thousands of books. And CGC can only grade so many books so quickly, right? And they got a job ahead of them, and they've been doing a great job. But Heritage is now showing them off as they get them in, prepping them for auction. So we're going to talk about some of those really quickly.
Yeah, just really quick, we'll just surmise part of the story. It's about a 5,000 book collection. Not all of it's going to be sold at once.
It's a pedigree.
It's considered a pedigree, 61st pedigree ever in CGC's eyes.
A collection of high-grade books that have been preserved from one collector.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is basically two brothers during the Korean War who both went to war, and one of them collected comics, the other didn't, and one made a promise to the other that he will take care of these comics if something had happened to him. Well, unfortunately, one of them didn't come home, and the other brother kept that promise for 70 years about, and has protected those comics, and now they've come to market.
Protect my funny books. Man, I'm going to never forget that quote, man. You got to make sure to take care of my funny books. It's like, man, what a cool way to preserve his legacy through a pedigree.
I mean, if you think about how much he loved comics, you take care of the things you love. Right. So he loved it to the point where he preserved it and kept them in such a way that they stayed in the nice and unbelievable quality they are now.
Amazing Mysteries, issue number 32. First Marvel horror cover, graded at 9.6. What?
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, just a beautiful red cover, kind of like a picture frame.
Let's describe it, because I want to remind the community that, we appreciate you watching us on YouTube. We release it here first, but the show is pretty long, so we understand that some members, they like to bag aboard their comics, they like to do things, price their comics while they're listening to us. So we make these podcasts available on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes, covering all your bases. And if you find yourself watching us talk about a cover that's on the screen a little too long, it's because there's members who are listening to us, and we have to describe it for them so they can feel the excitement that we feel on the mic. So tell them about this Amazing Mysteries comic, the first horror Marvel comic book.
Yeah, it's a blazing red cover.
Dude, this thing is like sharp red, dude. I can see it through a screen right now. And if anything, here's the thing. When did this come out?
Probably an Atomic Age book.
1949. I just took a peek at the screen here. The red looks like this book I'm sitting behind that came out in 1972, and we're talking Tomb of Dracula, issue number 1 at 9.8 that I sit in front of every single show. Cover art done by Neil freaking Adams.
Yes, and he did not do this one.
No, he didn't, but dude, that red looks even brighter red somehow than the book that I'm sitting in front of.
Yeah, those inks still look wet, and it's just this image of this kind of ghoulish monster face at a peak of a mountain, and almost like these souls walking up a hill into this mouth of, I don't know, despair, for everlasting damnation. I don't even know. And then this kind of ghoulish moon with these bats in it. It's a great cover.
The Isle of No Return.
There you go.
That's what it's about. Comic Fan, this is graded at a 9.6. It's got that black tuxedo label with that gold tint that every time I see it, I like it more and more. CGC, well done.
That's an upgrade, man. That last black and white. I mean, the tuxedo is nice, but
I like the black and white, but it
missed something, man.
It was missing the umph. You know what I'm saying?
This gives it class. It's like a tuxedo with a gold vest.
There you go. It's got that shiny pocket square. You know what I'm saying?
That's it right
All
there.
right, there you go, comic fam. All right, so this one was featured, stopped me in my tracks, was very hyped about it. Then we have Flash Comics 86. We have a dinosaur cover with the Golden Age Flash. We're talking Jay Garrick. This dude is such an underrated Golden Age superhero. I freaking love this guy wearing that helmet, running quicker than anything up until the Silver Age, basically. And with those blue pants, man, in this blue jeans, classic, brother. He's running, trying to fight what looks like a T-Rex. Stone Age Menace is what we're looking at. And what is this book? Coming out in 1947.
9-2, Off-White.
What?
I mean, first appearance of the Black Canary. This is already a very covered. Now, listen, I have to say, I think this book is way too expensive because I don't know how many people give a damn about Black Canary, but for me, I think this book is way overvalued.
Dude, the Black Canary call? Dude,
Yeah.
it's freaking awesome, dude. Come on.
Okay.
She was on Arrow.
Yeah.
Stephen Amell, come on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a sucky show, but oh well.
I'll take your word for
I was on the island for 5 years. It's your fault that you were on the island. I am mad. That was basically the whole series, by the way. But anyways, continue.
Oh, I like it. So, yeah, like I said, it's a great book for people who like this book. And 9-2, clearly, it's amazing, and I'm sure it's gonna fetch a gorgeous type of coin.
You got the Hawkman right in the top left, the DC logo on the right, and the Golden Age. They just knew how to make a freaking cover to stand out, man. It's like, I don't even know how we've digressed since then to the point where we don't even want trade dress on there. This trade dress matters to me. The Flash comics, the Flash lettering is in yellow. There's little, like, what would you call it? Like electrical lines in between the FLASH,
Etche.
and then the comics is white, and you have a red top border showing the number in white, number 86 in August, but then you have a blue banner right underneath it, and then literally, 2/3 of the cover is actual art? This all combined makes me so hyped about this era.
Yeah, the books were bigger. So you think about it, you had a larger image area. The paper was extra thick, and it was very good quality paper, and
Dude,
the
it feels
inks were
so
great.
good when you hold a Golden Age book that size.
Yeah, exactly. And more story to them, more pages. It's just a larger comic. And it's great because that gives you larger image areas and great bold colors. And it's sturdy and easy to read. You don't damage it like a Silver Age book.
That's why you can actually be a little bit more, I don't know, confident when dealing with gold because it was more sturdy, you know? The cover was tight. We're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to get into that terminology in a little bit here. But this book also has some pencil writing on it. That accent, man, I love it. Whenever there's writing on a cover, on a Golden Age book, some members are going to go, wait, what? You're defacing my comic book? No. Back in the Golden Age, this was expected. It didn't detract from the cover. We're going to get into that specifically with the Overstreet coverage we're going to do today. But look at that outer glow. The dinosaur has this yellow outer glow that looks like they had to have had Photoshop back in the day, but they didn't.
They didn't have Photoshop, guys.
They did not.
It's just the use of color, contrast, dynamic imagery. They just knew what they were doing with less tricks.
And then they were like, you know what? Do we have space on the cover? Woman in bondage, bottom right corner. It's just what they did back then, man. It was important. Damsel in distress, It wasn't about the Flash. It was about the excitement, the danger,
Who did this cover? What's it say?
Horror comic specialist Lee Elias and Joe Kubert. And this book is a 9.2. Crazy that it even exists. Just like this next book, Blue Beetle, issue number 54 at 9.4. Classic, good girl cover, undressing in the mirror. We have a gorgeous female. And you know what? It doesn't even really make sense what I'm seeing on this cover because clearly we're seeing a woman who is looking in the mirror, but we're getting a shot from her, like from behind her. And it doesn't look like she's wearing a bra, but in the mirror she is. And I have a feeling that if they could push it back in the day, they would have made that reflection a full nude.
They were constantly pushing the boundaries here. So this is as far as they could go, and it's pretty far and provocative for that time frame especially. And then you got this dude, obviously with a dagger, sneaking up behind her. So it's an intense moment. And this is using the seduction of the innocent. As classic as it gets. I think it even says classic cover on the holder.
You know what this is? This is living proof that crime doesn't pay. It literally says it in the bubble on the cover. But we do have a yellow banner, blue beetle, 10 center, a very mischievous looking person with a hat on and a knife in hand, looking like he's going to attack someone. And then you get a little blue beetle in the bottom left of the cover.
And why don't you tell us who did the art for this cover?
You know it be Jack Kamen.
Jack Kamen and Matt Baker were crushing the art game, okay? And Fox Publications, Jack Kamen did a lot of work for them. Blue Beetle's run right here of good 6-7 issues is just fantastic.
Just like the first appearance of Superboy in More Fun Comics 101, we're looking at this vibrant, yellow as the damn sun cover with Green Arrow, with Speedy, shooting off arrows at a gentleman who is towering over him like he was the damn Hulk. But he's a knight, and they're taking him out. And little did people know back then that the appearance of Superboy would make this book a mega grail, and it's graded at a 9.4.
This is an interesting title because More Fun had a lot of characters introduced in here. We had the first appearance of Aquaman in this book.
Dude, yeah, the first appearance of the Spectre in this run.
Right, and Aquaman didn't even get a first cover appearance in the Golden Age. His first cover appearance isn't until Brave and the Bold 28.
Because Aquaman has never been cool until, like, modern times. And I'm talking like Jeff Johns, shout out. You know what I'm talking about.
So to see it here is a very unassuming cover, right? And then you're going to find out that in the pages, the first appearance of Superboy, who's finally going to take over this title with, I think, 2 issues later in 103. We're going to see him in his first cover appearance and just up and away through this title.
9.4, man. What a cool grail to have. Tough cover. And it has that like writing on the cover in pencil. That's just what they did back then. They had to keep track of their books. Gives it some character. I really enjoyed that. You know I love me a good date stamp. I'm hoping if I keep saying stuff like that on the mic, I'm going to get some people to think a little bit more beyond just make it pristine like it came off the press. You know what I'm saying? Because when I get a date stamp comic, I want that. I want that over the other. As long as the grade's the same. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree with you. I like the date stamp. I like the extra character of the initials from the owner or
So
signature. Cool, just something along those lines. And this collection has some of that, and we're seeing it in some of these books. This cover is a notorious Captain America cover.
Dude, Captain America 46. This book is a beast, man. People want this book.
This is going to be a really, really expensive book. I mean, this is a Holocaust cover where you have Jews being put into a burner and burned alive. So that's the significance and importance of this book.
But you also have Cap and Bucky stopping it. They're jumping through, flying almost out of the pages of this comic book to put a stop to it. There's so much going on this cover that you know it had to be a very particular cover artist who did it.
Alex Schomburg.
That dude is a freaking man, dude.
He is the man. I mean, he pretty much was the house that Timely, or built the house of Timely. I mean, it feels like he's just done every superhero cover. I don't know how many. I think he did 500 plus covers.
So damn cool, dude. That guy was a beast. And this is a 9.2.
Yeah, that's just insane. That's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. You had such good taste. The brothers, come on. All right. And then Contact Comics, issue number 12. The creator of the black light cover, the person who stylized it, popularized it to this day. We got L.B. Cole. We got a 9.6. This comic book is amazing.
This is such a coveted book. I mean, Contact 12 is extremely wanted by many, many people. I don't understand the attraction to it. It's looks a little rudimentary to me for sci-fi.
Are you into sci-fi though? That's the question. Like how into sci-fi? Like how much Star Trek have you watched?
A lot. Star Trek Next Generation, plenty, man. I used to watch that every night after Sports Center.
Dude, if you're into sci-fi, you look at this cover and you go, oh yeah, this is sci-fi classic memorabilia at its finest.
Meh, not for me.
Not for you, comic fan. What do you think, man? Because LB Cole, he gets me every time. Some people are like, yeah, I don't know why this gets so expensive. But when I see an LB Cole cover sell for what it does, I go, yeah, justified. Timothy Oliphant style.
But really quick, let me just say, one of my favorite sci-fi covers is still done by L.B. Cole, and that's the Blue Bolt 105.
I love that cover too, man.
That cover is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You want to know what else is unbelievable about this cover?
That it's a 9.6?
No. One step more.
White pages?
It's a freaking white pager. Mind blown, comic fam. Mind blown. That's going to break records just like this next LB Cole cover. We got mask number 1, baby, at an 8.5 nonetheless. Yeah, it's not above that 9.0, but who freaking cares? Because when you look at this cover, what we're looking at is it almost looks like well, how would you describe that? Because we have like fairies and their wings are in the black light. We have a character from the night holding a candle right in the center of his face that's green with red flame, mask in yellow, all coming together to create one of the dopest looking comics. I need this poster in my home.
It's hard to describe this cover and make sense of it. It just seems to be this fanciful, monstrous vision that L.B. Cole just threw out there with his dramatic color use. So it's mask number 1. It's a short 2-issue run because they're going to have mask number 1 at 8.5. And we're going to see mask number 2 at a 7.5.
Oh my gosh. And then mask number 2, it gets that same type of treatment, but we have way more faces on the cover, you know, with a lot of like stress in the, like, as far as the emotion goes that you can see through the eyes. He was able to really like dial in the shadows on this cover. And it's just gorgeous. It really stands out. And then of course, yeah, you have the mask logo that is also like bleeding to a degree. It's red on the top, yellow at the bottom, with just red ink just flowing as if there's like a vampire involved.
Well, you got these flames coming through, so it feels like they're alive. You got huge Satan-like figures surrounded by these faces of anger and despair. And then you got the comedy and tragedy masks on each side flanking the mask title on both issues.
Man, and this is a 7.5. Respectable. High grade, man. Even for that time. Like, yeah, we're talking about 9.0s plus. If this puts in perspective at all for the comic fam, we are getting hyped about a 7.5 right now. And we're talking about 9.0s that are going even higher than that in this pedigree collection.
Yeah, these two books combined will probably get close to 100K.
Oh, I'd be surprised if
75?
You don't think it's going to exceed 100K?
It could. You never know with this, but man, those are ridiculous grades for really, really tough books.
Comic fam, we love some expensive paper. This is as expensive as it gets to some degree here. We're going to see some records broken. I got to hear your thoughts about this in the comment section below.